Today in our 2018 Ford F250, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the WeatherTech Easy Install No Drill Mud Flaps for the front and rear. It is available for the front only and for the rear only. So here's what our mud flaps are going to look like once we have them installed. Now these are going to greatly reduce the amount of dirt and debris that's going to be on the lower section of our truck and our running boards. And you can see that our mud flaps are going to contour all around the body perfectly because they are custom made for our truck. They're made out of a durable thermoplastic resin, so they're going to hold up to even the harshest environments. And here you can see the rear mud flaps going to contour around the body nicely as well. Now the rear really is going to help maintain the back of our truck from getting dirty, like the tailpipe, keeping it from rusting out over time, and it's going to keep our trailer or a camper nice and clean on the front. Our mud flaps aren't going to require any kind of drilling because they're going to use this quick turn style connector. There's a little cam in there to squeeze against the body, and then it'll use factory holes with stainless steel hardware, so we don't have to worry about them rusting out. So now that we've taken a look at our mud flaps, let's show you how easy it is to get them installed. To begin our installation, we're going to start on the driver's side front. If we come to the back of the front wheel well, we'll have two bolts that are going into the side of the body here. We'll grab a 5.5mm socket, and we'll pull those two screws out. You want to make sure you hold on to them because they are going to get reused. So we can grab our mud flap. They are labeled, so just grab the one that has the LH on it for left hand. Then we want to bring our attention to the cam that's up here. Now with the cam, you can see that we're going to have two symbols. We'll have a lock and an unlock. You want to rotate this so that this little tab here is in the unlocked position. Then we can set it against the truck. We'll line up our mud flaps so that the two holes line up with the factory holes. And we're just going to loosely install the screws so it'll hold it in place. Then we can take the included Allen key. We'll come to the cam and we're going to tighten it. And as we tighten it, you'll see that cam swing over to the locked position. And we'll continue to tighten it until it gets nice and snug. You don't want to crank down too much. You just want to make sure that it's snug and that it's not going to come loose. And then we can come back and tighten up those two screws with that 5.5mm socket. And that'll finish up the install for this one on the front, so we'll go ahead and repeat that for the other side as well. If we move back to the rear wheel well, we're going to have two push pin fasteners on the bottom of this rocker panel. We're going to need to pull these two out. I'm using a trim panel tool. You can use a flathead screwdriver or whatever you have available. But I will let you know that typically these fasteners do break sometimes, but that's okay because they're not going to be getting reused. And if the head of the push pin breaks off, we can just push it in until it falls out. So we can grab our rear mud flap, and again you want to make sure that cam is in the unlocked position. Now these two holes in the mud flap are going to line up with those two holes we took the push pins out of. But we're not going to be using push pins, we're going to be using a set of screws and these black washers to go through. These are going to go all the way through the mud flap and through the bracket right here, and then we're going to be attaching some hardware on the back. It's going to be a little bit hard to see just because I'm going to have my hand in there, but we'll line everything up. We'll put one of the screws in place. Kind of want to just hold everything. Make sure it doesn't fall, you don't lose your hardware. And then we're going to reach on the back side, follow our screw up with a silver flat washer, and then we're going to secure it down with one of these black flange nuts. It is a little bit of a tight fit, but you can reach your hand behind there and put the hardware in place. And I found that it's a little easier if you can get one piece at a time started. So if you can get the washer just to sit on the bolt and then put the nut on and just get it on there hand tight so it'll hold everything in place, we can get the rest of the hardware in. So with the rear one in place, we'll take our included Allen key again. We're going to tighten up that cam until it's nice and snug, making sure it's in the locked position. And grab a Phillips bit or a Phillips head screwdriver, and we can tighten up the two screws until they're snug. Now the nuts on the back are flange nuts that have little teeth on them, so if we get them snug enough by hand, we should be able to tighten these up without having to hold the nut on the back. And then we can repeat that process for our other rear mud flap. That'll finish up your look at the WeatherTech Easy Install No Drill Mud Flaps for the front and rear.